Welcome to the Dental Assisting Information session. Please have paper and pen handy to take notes. Today's objectives will include explaining the Wake Tech admissions and clinical application process, reviewing the dental assisting program, explaining the competitive selection process. Students seeking enrollment in health science programs will submit 2 applications. The first application is an application for general admissions, which must be submitted first. This enables the college to create a student record. The second application you will submit will be a health sciences clinical or program application. This places you in a pool of qualified applicants to be considered for the clinical classes or the program. The following steps are the steps needed to complete your enrollment process at Wake Tech. In the first box will be your first steps. You'll want to apply to Wake Tech by completing the residency interview, which is an online application for residency. This determines if you will receive in-state or out-of-state tuition and is a required part of our admissions process. The second step in that process would be the school application, and that is the application that helps us to create your student account. In the middle box, placement. Placement is handled in 2 ways. We will use high school transcripts or college transcripts for those that attended colleges or high schools in the United States. We will use your high school GPA or prior college coursework to determine your eligibility for Wake Tech courses. Those students outside of those parameters may need to take the college placement test. To learn more information about the placement test, there is a link at the very bottom of this page, or you can visit the Wake Tech website and do a search for placement testing and be redirected to that web page. The third and final box is registration. But before you register, there are a few more things that we would require of you to do. The first is if you are a brand new college student, not transferring any credits to Wake Tech, then we will require you to complete new student orientation to learn a little bit more about the institution and our processes. For those students who are interested in taking online courses, we also have an online orientation for anyone seeking to register for an online course. This is called ELI, or eLearning 4.0. Once you complete these steps, then we encourage all students to register or to make an appointment to meet with an academic advisor to discuss the courses that you're eligible to take to support your program. Students requiring placement tests typically fall in these categories. They include those who graduated high school outside of the United States, those who are enrolled in our EFL or English is Not the First Language program and are completing EFL and may need math placement to release them, some students who are enrolled in CCP, or those applicants who do not meet mastery of GED, HiSET, or adult high school as far as GPA or placement test scores are concerned. So if your scores don't meet the certain cutoff, then we do recommend placement testing for you. To find out more information about placement testing, again, you can visit the Wake Tech placement testing page, and there you'll find out more information about when you can schedule the test and how to prepare adequately. Wake Tech requires transcripts, both official high school and college transcripts of applicants. This means that you will have to submit transcripts that are unopened by anyone before we receive them. The ways that transcripts can be sent include the following. You can send them electronically from the sending institution, you can hand deliver them unopened, or they can be mailed to Student Services at 2901 Holston Lane, Raleigh, North Carolina. College transcripts are officially reviewed after a student has been accepted to the college. Typically, you have to allow 6 to 8 weeks for the official review to occur, and these official transcripts and credits are based upon established standard equivalencies. Advisors, when you meet with them, may or may not be able to give you definitive information about transfer credits. We do not award credits, but we can give you our educated opinion as to what may transfer. It is the student's responsibility to follow up with student records for transfer credit information or questions regarding transferable credit. Their email address is located on the slide. After you complete the following steps, and those were the residency interview, your Wake Tech application, you've submitted transcripts or had placement testing, you've completed your new student orientation, you've completed your online course orientation, then you are officially admitted to Wake Tech as a pre-dental assisting student. So now, we recommend highly that you schedule an appointment with an advisor. But before doing so, we're going to go over some details about the dental assisting program, and then we'll give more details about how to schedule that appointment toward the end. The dental assisting program accepts 32 students one time a year. The reason for this program being so limited in number is that our accreditation standards dictate that the number of students enrolled must be proportionate to the resources available to the program. Under consideration are the following: size of facilities, number of clinic and lab stations, equipment and technology available, and number of qualified faculty. So if we only choose 32 students, and typically we average about 70 applicants or fewer, we use a point system to make those selections. For each prerequisite course or general education course completed at the time of application, you will receive points for grades of A, B, or C. Students with the highest points will then be selected for the 32 program seats. A little bit about the dental assisting program is it is a 3-semester program, and this 3 semesters does not include the prerequisite or general education courses we expect students to complete before you apply. This program starts in the fall, and it is a full-time day program. Our students graduate as dental assistant 2s and can sit for the DANB certification to become a CDA. Our students experience various clinical settings in the spring and summer of the program. These settings include Wake County Human Services and Chapel Hill School of Dentistry for 2 days a week, typically Tuesdays and Thursdays, for 12 weeks. Our students also complete summer office experiences with 2 general dentists and then your choice of a specialist. Students typically have to travel to these sites between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. on weekdays. Our students also have patient requirements, including 4 dental radiography patients, and by the time our students graduate, they have over 300 hands-on training hours. Students who are classified as pre-dental assisting students are then eligible to begin enrolling in prerequisite or general education courses. Those courses are in the darker blue area on the slide. They include English 111, which is English composition. They include Communications 120, which is interpersonal communications, or you may take a speech course. It includes Psychology 118, which is interpersonal psychology or general psychology. And then finally, there is a Biology 106. And this title is Introduction to Anatomy, Physiology, and Microbiology. Please be mindful that there are no time frames on the English, Communications, and Psychology courses, but for all of our sciences, they must be completed within 5 years of the clinical application deadline to be considered for credit and for points. Please also be mindful is that successful completion of all of the prerequisites or general education courses does not guarantee admission to the program. What you see below each one of the courses is a point structure. That point structure shows if you receive an A, B, or C in the course, those are the points that we award. And then when you get to the point where you apply to the program and we calculate your total points, Those students with the highest accumulated points will then be selected for the 32 seats in the program. What you see here is an image of all of the courses you would take to complete the dental assisting program. It shows the 3-semester program and the courses that you should take in order when you are accepted into the dental assisting program as a clinical student. What it also shows is the prerequisites or general education courses. It kind of gives you the perspective that you can actually take those courses once you're in the program. But because we have a competitive admissions process, that is the reason why those courses are extracted, and students are expected to take them before you apply. That way we can use that competitive process to be able to choose who actually will begin the dental courses. For this particular program, we do have opportunities for extra points. Extra points are opportunities where students can earn points outside of your prerequisite or general education courses. These opportunities include students are able to take anatomy and physiology as a separate course and microbiology as a separate course in place of Bio 106, which is sort of a combination of those two courses. If a student does this, you will receive an extra 10 points in addition to the points for the grade for the course. Students are also permitted to take DEN 100, oral facial anatomy, and or DEN 111, infection hazard control, prior to the application deadline. A student who receives an A, B, or C in these courses could receive additional points toward their application. The registration for these particular courses is controlled, and it does require that students who are interested in these particular courses email me at tgriffin4@waketech.edu if you are interested. And then a schedule of the courses will be emailed to you, and you can confirm if you want to be registered or you are interested in the courses. And then finally, we award waiting points for students who applied prior years. One, for applying 1 year and not being accepted, we award you 5. And if it happens twice, then we will award 10. But 10 is the maximum points for this particular area. Students often ask, do I need to be a full-time student? And the answer to that is prerequisite or general education courses can be taken on a part-time basis or full-time. They can be taken on campus, online, day, afternoons, evenings, or hybrid. The classes you take have point values, and it is better often to take fewer and perform better than to take too many and suffer. So always consider your life and school balance when you are registering for your courses. Typically, if you're very honest with academic advisors when you were in your appointments about your own personal load, whether you have responsibilities or if you have to work full-time, the advisors will advise you accordingly. However, once you are accepted into the dental assisting program, your schedule is dictated to you, and typically our students are daytime and full-time students. Here's a little background on what the points have been for accepted students for the past years. If we go over to 2020 and 2021, you'll notice that we had 69 applications in 2020 and 71 in 2021. The point ranges for accepted students range from 49 to 81 in 2020, and then 33 to 84 in 2021, which is probably reflective of the pandemic. A little bit of extra information about the class for 2020 is that 15 of those students had the higher level sciences, where they took the separate anatomy and physiology and the separate microbiology. 14 of the applicants had DEN courses before they applied, and 6 had reapply points. What is important to note on this slide is that the dental assisting program application is May 15th. Any applications that come in after that date will be considered for the following year and not the current year. What is required when you apply to the program, and this is typically students who are moving toward completing your prerequisites and you believe that you're a competitive applicant, then you want to submit the program application, which is located on the school website under Dental Assisting Admissions. There is a technical standards form that is also part of the packet, and you want to be sure that we have all of your educational transcripts on record. There are some important things to know as you move forward with your process. The first is we are a limited enrollment program, which means that we often cannot admit every highly competitive applicant because of space limitations. In this case, the program only admits 32 students. There is no wait list. There are accepted students, alternates, and not accepted. Alternates are invited to the program orientation in the event an accepted student declines their seat before the start of the term. Orientation is typically in June for this particular program, and if we have someone who's accepted that declines their seat between June and the start of the semester, then we will select an alternate to be able to fill that seat. Only those students who turn in dental applications will be considered for the dental courses. You must send updated transcripts if you are enrolling in courses at another college. Oftentimes we have students who will do the information session, but they may take their prerequisites or general education courses elsewhere. Just be mindful when you apply to the program that we have the most current transcript for you so that we're awarding the most current points for you. And then it's important to note that the program is a daytime program. And so you can be part-time as you do your general education courses, but once you're accepted into the program, it is a full-time day program. Additional information is that applications must be submitted on a yearly basis. If you're not selected, then typically you want to submit an application for the following year. And usually, if students are not accepted, it has to deal with points, so it may be important to repeat a course to maybe do a little better to improve your chances of getting in the next time. Points are calculated at the time the clinical applications are due, May 15th for dental assisting. Courses completed after these dates will not be included in the total points calculation. Our graduates of our program are employed typically by October 1st, and 50% of them are employed by general practice, pediatric, orthodontic, and oral surgery offices before finishing program requirements. It is important to note to obtain the certification for dental assisting, applicants must hold one of the following forms of ID: a U.S. driver's license, valid passport, military ID, U.S. ID card, U.S. government issued permanent resident card with a photo and signature commonly known as the green card, formerly known as the alien registration card. However, our graduates of our program are also classified as DA2s and are able to work in the state. For all of our clinical programs, including dental assisting, we do require criminal background checks. It is part of the clinical clearance process. This also includes vaccinations and also immunizations. So you want to be very mindful of the clinical requirements. So please visit the dental assisting webpage and click on the clinical requirements page so that you can learn more about the clinical clearance process and why criminal background checks are required and why we require the vaccinations and the immunizations. It is important to note, and these are notes from the department heads, is that these are health services jobs, so you must be professional. Patient engagement is super important. You have to be sensitive to patients. Not everybody wants to be in the dentist office. Keen listening skills, and also super important are fine motor skills involving small hand actions that require precise coordinated movements of small muscle groups. Sometimes it can be physically demanding, depending upon how you are positioned in your support of the dentist. You will see blood, including oral surgery and routine procedures. There are also exposure to airborne pathogens and bloodborne pathogens. So you must be aware of those typical and technical standards that are related to these particular professions. It is difficult to work while in the program, but not terrible if you decide that you want to balance a job and still be in school. But it's very impossible to work full-time and still be in a full-time day program as well. So you definitely want to look for a flexible job or find an employer that's going to be extremely supportive as you pursue your goal. One other element is that if you are accepted to the program or an alternate, we do require attendance, and it's mandatory at the orientation. Those students who do not attend the orientation program then forfeit their seat to be considered for the fall program. So we've reached the end of this presentation. It just went over the basic elements of the clinical program, admissions to Wake Tech, and admissions to the program. I hope it was beneficial and that you were able to learn a lot of information. Now you're at the point where you're ready to meet with an academic advisor. So if you've applied to Wake Tech and we have your transcripts or you've completed placement testing, then we encourage you to make that appointment so that we can go over with you what courses you are eligible to take, or maybe discuss with you that you're ready to apply to the program. If you're a current student and want your program changed to dental assisting, then you're also in a position where you're ready for that appointment. If you have yet to apply, then we encourage you to begin that admissions process so that you can get to the point where you're ready to meet with an academic advisor. The way to meet with an advisor is as such. You want to schedule a virtual appointment by Googling Wake Tech Health Sciences Admissions and Advising, and when you receive the results, you want to click the results page and click Make an Appointment, which is one of the icons toward the top of the page. There you can select New or Continuing Student, choose the advisor or choose anyone, non-specific, that you want to meet with, schedule your day and your time, include all of your personal details, and then you'll receive a confirmation message with the link that you'll need to use to join the Microsoft Teams virtual meeting. Thank you for your attention, and please don't forget to complete the quiz of understanding to receive credit for completing this session today. Thank you, and have a great day.